So this is a new kind of farming that is coming up. I think this company is called Energy Now or Solar Now. The sign that I saw a few weeks ago has been taken down. And I'm just by the gate. I didn't want to go beyond. I don't see an office. It says to check in at an office. There's a couple little buildings that are transfer stations. So if you are in the now and learning about farming and land, this is one of the options that you can choose for your land. And you can actually invest in the panels and the converters and sell this solar energy back to the company, or lease the land out to the companies doing this. So I'll look into the name of the company, but it got me thinking, because last night we were watching a lot of videos about the milk industry. And around us, the milk industry all over the United States is failing because the dairy farmers are producing so much more milk than the Americans are drinking. It said on average, most Americans consume 3 gallons of milk a week. And I forget what the year comparison was, but it was compared to, in the past, 11 gallons a week per person. I don't know how one person can consume 11 gallons in a week anyway. We go through 4 to 5 gallons a week for the whole family, and that's being average. That's not cooking with a lot of milk. If I start making puddings and cookies and stuff that require a lot of milk, we are definitely consuming much more milk.
So we are in Mason right now, Mason, Michigan. We were gonna see if they had the train parked out here. They usually have at least one of the diesels. There's 2 diesels that are usually parked out here in this yard, and they're for the Adrian and Blissfield Railroad. But I guess they're in the shop right now. George is talking about it. We're gonna see if we can see it. Maybe it's down here. So apparently it's not here.
So if you are like me and you're a late starter, here's your chance. It's Chick Days at Tractor Supply again. They are having a late summer run of chicks, which is just great. This is a container full of Barred Rock straight runs. They are $1.99. Straight run ducks are $4.99. Oh, Orpingtons, my favorite, $2.99. All pullets. Pullets, $2.99. Cornish Rocks, $1.99. Babies. Now, I will tell you, if you are wanting a backyard flock, they have a minimum of 4 birds for a purchase and 2 if you're getting ducks. This little guy needs help. He's got a poopy butt. Yeah. Gotta unblock that vent or they can die. So these guys are a week old and ducks are large. They've been here longer. They are wet and pooped on. Some of them are starting to get feathers. You can see them. And little George over there. Georgie Porgy's getting into trouble. Hello. He's been having pizza. Look at that. Those are meat birds. These birds are the kind that are done in about 8 to 10 weeks. And they get real big real fast. So there we've got Eyes Brown. That's what we've got. They've got Silver Lace Wyandottes, it says. So, get on in for your baby chicks. So here's a really random vlog for you today. It is getting to be about dinner time and I just got home. This isn't a how-to video. This is what we're got going on today. It's kind of more like this is what's going on in the afternoon and evening of a farm wife. Good follow-up to that last one you just saw. Come on! So Bethany and Trey came out to the hayfield with Dad. He's cutting the very last of the hayfield. Come on up! And he wanted a pop. I keep Coca-Cola in the house. It's my fave. So, he doesn't hardly drink pop at all, and he wanted me to bring him a pop.
Mommy,
what?
I want pop too.
Oh, you already had sugar.
What's it in?
George has it.
Okay. What? You have it? Good.
So, if you're curious why George is in my lap, we are in the hayfield. But I made some stops today. He's telling me to back up for his pop to be at the end of the road, so he doesn't have to stop. Does it bind up if you stop in the hay tray?
Yeah.
He's telling me to go to the end of the row. Does the hay get stuck in it if he stops going? There's not a tree behind me, right? I'm in an 80-acre field. It should be safe to just back up without looking, right? Except for we planted these oak trees randomly here and there.
Who died behind you?
Hear George talking, everybody?
I'll take that for him.
So I've got some potatoes in the oven. And we're having fish sticks tonight. We're cheating. I gave them the option of tacos or fish sticks. Murdoch chose fish sticks. And I told him whatever they have tonight, they'll have the other one for lunch tomorrow. Huh? Yeah, I'm taking everybody. He's just bringing you the pop. So Dad's gonna have his pop. He likes to snack on bits of pepperoni. So he's skipping dinner and filling up on pop. Too late for a coffee. And caffeine doesn't affect him the way it does me. That's the John Deere 800 swather. If you're curious about it, we made a video about it probably last year and the year before. Got somebody else up here on the road. Looks like they're checking out what's going on. So you can see it's nice and brown. It's matured right up to seed heads. And this is the rest of the hayfield over here that he finished last week. We had a rainy week this week and he could not get it finished. But let me show you what else we did today. Okay, back to my evening jobs. I was so worried about that stupid hawk that I wasn't letting him out. Huh? I always forget about my hoses. So I ended up forgetting about the chicks and leaving them outside. Well, they go in on their own anyway, but I didn't come out and latch the door 3 nights in a row. Wouldn't you know, I did not lose a single chick. But I left for the afternoon and these guys ran right out of water. It is probably about 8 now, and I think we left the house around 1. So getting everybody their dinner hay and their water, which is usually much earlier, and then they don't run out of water. But it's August, so it's warm. It happens. So this is what I am doing now. Got to trade off. I hate it when I can't find my stuff when I'm working. And as rushed as I feel, it's just better to take a minute. No, I haven't mowed. It's all weedy around here. And there's no weeds here because I had my pig trailer sitting here. So it looks like I better weed whack tomorrow. And it's just so hard to do because I cannot do it in shorts. All that stuff whips back at your legs and it hurts. I won't do it. Not unless I can wear pants. Put it in, please, and the fence is on. It will zap you. Come on. Come on. Do you guys like rhubarb? That is my tremendous row of rhubarb. I started, this is asparagus down here. I started with 2 big messy sections of rhubarb and I divided it because they were so skinny. They were being choked out. And my mom was moving away, so I dug up all of her rhubarb and brought it here also. Oh shoot. Then I ended up forgetting what I was gonna do. So anyways, my rhubarb took off and grew like crazy. I need to take a bale with me. I don't know if I want to take hay or straw. Let's go see what we got. So this is my hay that is getting bleached out from sitting here. The barn door is jammed. And right there is a small stack of straw. It's a perfect stack. I hate to undo it. Oh. I've got a partial. There's the answer. I'll take this with me. Okay, so the duck's out of the box. If you haven't guessed it, that little visit to Tractor Supply kind of got an itch. These ducks were so big. Look at them. I talked to the manager that was there, and he said that they had been there for 2 weeks and they needed to go because they were overcrowded, number 1. Number 2, they get a delivery every week right now. I took the little ones too. So they were all in a little pen together. There are 24 little ducklings. And these are the Peking ducks. So the bottom fell out when I was carrying them just now. So I have to catch them. Hey, ducky duckies. Oh, they're not real fast yet. Come on, say hi. Yeah. Oh. I love my baby chicks, but I will tell you I don't get attached because these are meat birds. And occasionally, some will leave the farm, we'll sell them. Oh, you like that? So a lot of times, other people who know that I keep ducks will get a hold of us and they may have lost a duck or wanting to start a flock. Yeah, you see? Little tiny fuzzballs. So I have to figure these guys out. Let's get them back. Let's get them back in. Okay. So here's my trailer. It's moved over here. And I can do a separate review about this if you guys need information about livestock trailers later. But I moved the pigs from the barn. Right over here is their new pen. Here they are. Hey, pigs. They're waiting for water. And apples. So this is my backyard orchard. And you see I've got apple drops. So I just go around with a bucket and I clean them all up. But this is what I want to find out. I wondered how much that would push in. So something happened. The pigs were in here for a week before we moved them because they're really hard to load. And there's a separating door. So we got 2 in and then had to get the 3rd in. And yes, it's evening, so it's hard to see. So I was wondering if I had it closed, if anything could get in here to get to them, or if they could get out, if I had to put them in here to take them to the market. Not quite sure what to do about this. I think a board, maybe some blocks. I think I'm gonna go find a board and some blocks. See my stroller? Isn't that funny? George was out here. We looked into what it would take to repair this. You know, that WD-40 I've always talked about? I'm under a rock, and I was introduced to PB Blaster. So I went to Menards for husband, and they had this jumbo-sized can of PB Blaster, 18 ounce. This is 11 ounce. This was the price, or still a little bit less, than a WD-40. Went back to buy some more, they didn't have it. They only had the small can. But this was like $3. And the WD-40 is about $5 for that size. And I swear, when he opens up a can of something, oh my gosh, he uses it all up. My favorite drill ever. The battery lasts and lasts. Okay. Trey borrowed me his ladder to hold the door open so I could work on it. Okay. So I had a open bale of hay because I was giving it to the pigs. I use hay and straw interchangeably around here. We have to buy our straw and the hay. If I use it, I'm not selling it. Right now, square bales are up to $4 or $5 right now for first cuttings. Last year we were selling them for $6 and $8 in August and September. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to bed this trailer down. I'm wondering if there's any way in here to run power. You'll see why. Okay, now I'm up here with the pigs up front. There's the new pigs over there. They're waiting on some water still. Threw them some apples. I had to go over and check on our rental houses. If you haven't watched our videos from a long time ago, I mentioned that before our farm, we got into buying some houses as an investment instead of investing in 401ks that were basically getting emptied out by Enterprise. Secure, you know, a means to grow our money slowly. And I do all the work on the houses. So I was over there today, and it's summertime, and we just took out all the window air conditioners for the houses. And then I found out that they had put smart meters on all of the houses, and they were drawing electricity even with nothing on in a vacant house. So I went over to turn the mains off, check on the situations, just to make sure that the houses were in good shape, see what kind of cleaning I have to do in between tenants. It's actually becoming a seller's market where we're at, so instead of renting it out, we were actually considering selling them and just investing that income back into the farm. She does this all the time. She gets her drink, he gets his drink, she dumps it. They love a wallow. And boy, look at this. We had got downpour rains the other morning. He's got tusks, so I keep a hoe right handy for getting that water back. Once in a while it'll end up over there, and if I spray at it, she'll go get it and push it back to me. Occasionally I have to get a backup bowl. I tried them on pig barrels. Doesn't work. They're so big and forceful that they loosen the nipple out all the time. You need the jaws of life to keep that thing in there with these big pigs. And like I said before, they're probably 500 and 600 pounds. They're real big. You gotta save some water to drink. This is Willow, and this is Wilbur. So sometimes this is just how a farm wife's day goes. These little guys were so cute. Look at that. Look at the size of Harrison here. Look at him. Oh, you get lost in the sea. Oh, I save you. He's so much smaller than them. So I set out to Tractor Supply, totally unknowing of all that, and searched for something special I saw on the internet. I needed to get some DE. DE is natural wormer for your animals, and you can even eat it as humans, and it helps your gut stay clean so you don't get any parasites and bugs. So it's a natural dewormer for animals. It can help them gain well, and a lot of people put all of these chemicals into their pork and their beef, and then they eat them, and gross. Grosses me out. So I've actually given DE to the animals in the past, and at one point, one of the pigs had worms. Help! Yeah. Look at you, cootie. Look at you, cootie pie. Hi. So anyways, a big worm shot out of this pig's butt. It was the grossest thing I ever saw. So I actually gave them water bowls, because I kind of wasn't thinking about it. But these guys are so big. They're too big for a water fountain. They'll splash around in it, and you have to make sure they don't drown. So I'm going to go out to the barn and go get a water fountain for them, because they're a little too small. And I have some 5-gallon ones out there. So this is what happened. The livestock trailer was empty. It was clean, and it was dry. And I needed a spot that I could get these guys safe. And it's not likely that that hawk will come around and perch on the sides of this trailer. Because you can see up there it's vented. And that's just open air. But I heard that look. One of them got right in the bowl. I don't know about this. And that's why you have to be careful with baby chicks, because they will drown themselves. They actually get cold and chilled, and they don't have feathers yet. I have to figure out how I can get a heat lamp in here, and the sun is going down. So I better go get that water fountain and find a heat lamp, and I can run an extension cord off my deck, because I have this parked on my side yard. So anyways, yeah. Sorry if I lose my train of thought. It's just what happens in a day. Of course I remembered what I was thinking. I heard that a hawk won't land in a small space, like smaller than 4 feet. And the wingspans on these hawks around here are huge. I have no idea how big they actually are. But if that's true, and you can just make 2x2 sections of your fencing, it would be so awesome to be able to keep them out. If you haven't gotten yourself one of these wagons, I'm telling you, I use it every single day. My corn trailer is out there in the driveway. The barn's way back there. So I load it up with a big water tank. I dump it right out of there, and I bring it back here to these cows. He had a trailer back here, and you know, he works off the farm, so there's just not time in every single day to get it all done. So I'm kind. I try not to harp too much. And that's why I forget things, like water's overrunning. Looks like the water's off. I think Trey must have turned it off. So our days are busy. I'm back at the feed room, and this is what I do. I just fill up this big tote up at the corn trailer, and I pull it back here with a load full of, and then I just pull it back here with a load full of corn. I can top it off with oats. I can stack 3 buckets on top of the corn and bring 15 more gallons of feed to grind. And then when we're ready to grind, which we'll be grinding food tomorrow, I have got one of these shipping containers, and I don't know how big it is, but I used this originally as a brooder box for my chickens. And if I'm feeling tired on a particular day and I don't want to go from the corn trailer, the steers and bulls are off grain now. They need to be grass-fed only. The girls get extra protein from the corn and the oats, and when we can, have it ground. So if I don't have it ground, I can just take it right from here to give to the girls. So I'm going to go give them some grain right now before I forget, and I'm going to get that water fountain. So all my days are work days, no matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter if I'm working on a rental house, doing housework, teaching the kids, or going shopping, or just being here on the farm doing farm chores. I needed kind of a break from everything, but things still need to get done. So I've kind of got some plans for a rebuild on my chicken coop, or rather my chicken run. And I didn't want to give up our weekend. We have other things to do than run all around. So I had to go over to the county clerk's office to get George's birth certificate. We had not received it in the mail yet. And I had just a compounded list of things that I needed to check on or do that was related to being away from the farm. So for days, my back hurt, my neck hurt. I don't know what was getting me, but I just felt like crap and I needed to get away. I get fresh air every single day. I just had to not be here thinking about everything so much, I guess. I don't know. I went out. I thought about the errands that I had to do and the places I needed to go. My chest doesn't hurt. My neck doesn't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. And all I did was spend about 5 hours away from home. The kids were with me. I'm looking for my hose. I had one less child with me because he went to work with his dad. I have probably 3 of these 5-gallon water fountains around here, and they're handy to have. But I'll tell you, I prefer the plastic ones over the metal because those metal ones can rust out and fail. This particular one, it's a little giant. I got this used from a guy that worked at a Honda dealership, and he met me at his work and sold it to me. I think I paid him $5 for it, and I bought like, I don't know, a bunch of chicken stuff, and it was before I ever got my first chickens. Even then, we were being frugal and buying as much used stuff as we could because, you know what, I didn't know if I would like it. I wasn't raised on a farm. I was raised in a small town in the city. Like, I was anywhere from a half a block to 6 blocks from my school, and there was no shopping, anything to go do. There was just a little dinky, you know, small town downtown. There was nothing to do. We literally hung out on a park bench downtown or in the laundromat. If it was too cold outside or raining, we'd sit on the tables in the laundromat. We got to be buddies with the people who worked there, and they would let us hang out. So when we found out that we liked it here, we started doing more things to grow the farm. And today just happened to be one of those things that I didn't set out to do it. I thought, no way, I'm not going to raise ducks again this year. When the manager told me he'd mark them down, folks, they were $4.99 a piece. That's the regular price. Through the hatchery, I think they're $4.79. And they're not marking them up at all. They're selling the feed, and that's where they're making their money. They're basically selling them for the hatchery and not making money off of it. But you know, we grind our own feed, so they're not going to make any money on the feed. So when I found out that we liked the farming, we just started growing it. See, they're falling right in this. I have to get rid of this.
So I want them in a barn.
I don't have a barn to put them in yet. Okay, see how dark it is in here? I was just out in the light. In the trailer, it's really dark, so I have to dash off to go find a heat lamp now and figure out how I'm going to hook it up. This is a livestock trailer, and there's a couple hooks here for tying up a horse, and then the strings up on the side. Hi, turn off. So I'm running out of daylight to get my chicks all settled in, so I'm going to go for the night, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow, and I'll show you what the ducks look like. Bye. So they're all settled in for the night. We got the heat lamp. I just zigzagged my electrical cord. I'll show you it tomorrow. Okay, so here's my little ducklings. They all made it through the night. And I just wanted to tell you that I had later on in the night got a thermometer set up. And with the heat lamp, they like it 90 to 92 degrees for about the first 3 to 4 days after being hatched. And they like it about like 87 to 90 degrees the next few days, like 4 to 7 days. And then you drop the temperature of their brooder area by 5 degrees every week until they're fully feathered. Now these bigger ducks, if you look at them, you know how people say goosebumps? They actually have what look like goosebumps on them. And that is all of their follicles, like you have hair follicles, where the feathers are coming out. So they're not feathered yet. What they're developing at this point is considered pin feathers, and they're just fuzzy and fluffy little cuddly birds. Hi. Hi. So it's nice and warm in here. The heat lamp can actually go off for the day and only run it at night. So that's a really nice thing this time of year, is that you're not relying on the heat lamp 24 hours a day to heat your little baby ducklings up. Most of the water, the trailer wasn't level, leaked out, and you want to make sure they have fresh water at least once a day, if not twice a day. Now, I don't like to use wood shavings. I had the open bale of hay, so that's what we used. And the hay is softer and finer than wheat straw. I don't like oat straw for baby animals because it's very coarse and very thick. So this is how I rigged up the heat lamp. There's 2 tie-ups there. So if you wanted to have a horse in here, you could tie them. And I just set up a network. I crisscrossed and did a figure 8 of my extension cord. And this is just a homemade extension cord with a made from Romex with a new electrical end on the end for a plug. And then you can see I just pulled it away from the sides because these are like a plastic lining with a fiberglass outside. So I don't want to overheat that and melt it. So I just set up the back of the trailer with some 12-inch boards and then put a sheet of plywood in front of that and a cement block. And the trailer is sitting much more level now, so no more of their water dripped out. There's a trailer jack that you can raise and lower for the height of your hitch on your vehicle. So of course the Suburban, the hitch sits way up higher. If you had it setting this low and needed to hook up to it, you'd have to jack it way up high or use a drop hitch, and it would not reach that low. So we did this just for using it as a makeshift chicken pen, because that's how farm life goes. Sometimes you just have to act fast. See here, I had my Romex all coiled up, and I just ran over. I have the extension cord plugged in there on the back of the deck, and there's our window. One of the windows from the house is, I can just look out here and know that their light's okay and not burnt out. I always keep a spare light bulb on hand because they are going to go out at the most opportune time. And you don't want to be sitting there at 10 o'clock at night having your heat lamp burn out and getting your baby chicks chilled. They can actually die from being too cold. So that's how our day ended up yesterday. I started out my day washing dishes and doing laundry, and it's time for the little baby to go have his nap. If you liked our little baby chicks video and our day last night, everything that's going on the farm, remember to hit that like button. We'll see you next time. Bye.